U.S. and Israeli strikes have pounded Iran, with Iranian state TV reporting huge explosions in central Tehran, where crowds were earlier seen gathering to mark Quds Day. Meanwhile, the Islamic Republic has kept up its attacks against Gulf Arab states after new leader Mojtaba Khamenei pledged to continue targeting U.S. military bases. Well, air defense in Dubai intercepted Iranian fire, while Saudi Arabia says it drowned nearly 50 drones over the span of a few hours today. Well, Mr. Khamenei has also vowed to keep blocking the Strait of Hormuz as leverage. A Persian Gulf shipping and energy infrastructure continue to be targeted. An attack on Iraq's Basra port yesterday killed at least one person and forced authorities to halt operations at all of the country's oil terminals. Now, AP correspondent Philip Crowther joins us now live from Dibba in the UAE. Philip, first up, you are at the entrance of the Strait of Hormuz. Tell us, what is the situation there given the latest threat from Iran's new leader?
Yeah, this is it right here. This is the entrance to the Strait of Hormuz. We're here in the United Arab Emirates, just a very short distance from Oman. The Strait of Hormuz is controlled jointly by Oman and Iran. We can see one or two tankers in the distance from here. They haven't moved over the last few days. And when you crane your neck a little bit further out, you can see dozens, especially at nighttime. You can see the lights of dozens of tankers. They're just idling here, waiting to be allowed into the Strait of Hormuz, or rather they are waiting until it's safe enough for them to attempt that passage. The Strait of Hormuz has not been officially blocked by Iran by military means, for example. As far as we know at this point, there have not been mines laid, for example. But there have been over a dozen attacks on ships that have been either trying to enter the Strait of Hormuz or have during this conflict. And that just means it's too risky for oil companies, but also insurance companies are racking up their prices. So it's just deemed too risky to attempt this passage. Right now, we are seeing no movement back and forth, meaning that there are at least dozens of tankers waiting to enter the Strait of Hormuz where we are right now. And there are literally hundreds of ships inside the Persian Gulf trying to get oil out of that area from the Gulf countries, for example, but from Iran as well, of course, out into the wider world. And remember that a very large percentage of the world's seaborne oil traffic goes through the Strait of Hormuz. It's a fifth of all of that traffic, and a very high percentage thereof goes to Asia.
Right, very high traffic, as you have emphasized. Do we know if anything is being done to allow energy shipping to resume? And what about Trump's promise of these U.S. Navy escorts?
Yeah, so far we're not seeing any concrete actions. Essentially, the conclusion is that only diplomacy and an end to the war will lead to a reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, as long as the United States and Israel keep on attacking Iran, there will be counterattacks from Iran, for example, on oil tankers, but also on Gulf countries like the United Arab Emirates, where I am, but also the likes of Qatar and Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as well, meaning this is just not safe passage for oil tankers right now. So what can be done militarily? Well, we've not seen any evidence of anything happening. Yes, US President Donald Trump spoke about the possibility of escorting oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz. That has not happened yet. We are seeing no movement here. And indeed, it would most likely be deemed way too dangerous to do so, so long as Iran still has the possibility of attacking targets with drones or ballistic missiles. This is something that a French-led initiative is working on establishing as well, possibly being able to escort ships in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. But this is not something that is going to be happening in just a few days' time.
But Philip, what is this we're hearing? Reportedly, Iran allowing China and India-bound oil to go through. Do we know how credible these reports are? Do you see any evidence of this happening, given their ties with Iran?
Look, we've seen no movement back and forth here over the last few days, but there is an exception. to there not being any international ships being allowed through. It's a tiny exception. Some tankers that are aligned, and not even just tankers, these might be other ships as well, who might be aligned with China, who might be flying under a Chinese flag, or might even just be saying that they are aligned with China, linked with China. One or two of them have been able to get through over the last few days, but that is very much the exception. What this is not is any kind of a deal between Iran and China allowing those ships to freely move through the Strait of Hormuz. There is no existing deal right now, and we're seeing no evidence thereof.
All right, thanks for that clarification. AP correspondent Philip Crowther in Dibba, UAE.